First of all, you told me, months ago of the hours, the games, the simulations to get some confidence with that putter. What's it been like for you to see this journey reach a PGA Tour trophy?
Well, thanks so much for having me. It's been an amazing 3-year run to see the transformation from being well outside the top 1,000 in the world to now being number 9 in the world. To see him gain confidence, validation was yesterday, and it's been long overdue. But it all started. Look, obviously the guy's a way better putter than giving credit for. I mean, if they kept stats, based on all the majors this year, he'd be a top 50 putter on tour. So, you know what, it started at the right before the PGA Championship, and he's been on a nice heater since then. We really figured out some things and kind of defined his blueprint for what we needed to do to get better. And there's no better kid in this world or young man in this world. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world, but he's a first-class young man, and he sticks to the plan every single day. No matter if he shoots 65 or 75 or whether he's winning or missing the cut, we do the same things day in and day out that we've done for 3 years. And the only time we get in mistakes is when we when we overcomplicate things.
Josh, it must have been great to see the fruition of all of the work you put in over the years, but you weren't actually able to be out there and see that final putt right. Didn't your celebrations get a little bit too out of hand for the old man body when you were back in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I'm 47, and I need to realize that I don't jump as high as I used to. So when he made the putt on 8, I'm an emotional person. I know how much energy that he's put into it. I put into this, and he's like a son to me. And my fist pump was a little probably excessive, and I made a quick run to try to get up the hill to meet him on the putting green, thinking it would be a playoff. And unfortunately, my calf didn't really appreciate that, and it. Fortunately, it's just a severe strain, a slight tear, nothing crazy, but it's about as much pain as I've ever been in. So I need to stay away from these golf-related injuries. Fell out of a hotel bed about 2 years ago and now tearing my calf muscle. So I don't know. I got issues, but it was well worth it. I can promise you that.
And they say golf isn't a contact sport. We know better. Hey, Josh, I want to ask, first of all, feel better, and we wish you a speedy recovery. It's been interesting, this journey. Josh, we saw yesterday Will kind of explode after that putt on the 72nd hole, saying, what are they going to say now, barring a quote from Steph Curry. How much was he bothered by the talk at tables like this or on the golf course or on Twitter about perceived weaknesses in his arsenal?
Bothered a little, motivated way more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, it hurts. Look, it hurts to get scrutinized for about anything. And look, as he said at Augusta this year, which was a beautiful comment when people were asking about his putting stroke, and he goes, look, it may not look pretty, but I'll take anybody to putting green right now that wants to go. So the only thing that's going to continue to make his putting stroke better and better are moments like yesterday. Making putts with the gun, validate what he put in. He's put in the hours to try to overcome this, the only honestly deficiency in his game. And he's an elite putter. You can't do what he's done the past 2 years and not be able to putt. But yeah, that's what I told him last night. We got off the plane. I said, "Bud, I know you've been hurt." He never really lets on, but I said, "I know this has bothered you to a certain extent." And it was a little vindication for him. It was a little, I told you I can do this, and it may not look pretty, but it finds the hole quite often.
Josh, so much of the reaction to Will's victory has been this idea that it was long overdue, which you just said yourself, which on paper would seem remarkable for a guy who's only been on tour for a couple of years. How much danger is there with a guy like Will where the expectations are so high, yet the competition is so tough that if you don't win, you're somehow perceived as underachieving, when in fact he's had a pretty remarkable run for 2 years?
Well, I mean, you don't make, $15 million or whatever, or 14 on the golf course and have four or five second places and all the top 10s and 5s and majors and without being an elite player. He has an amazing perspective on things. He's never looked at any of these losses or playoff losses or second places as a failure. We have a simple quote, and it's a cliche. I know it sounds dumb, but it's true. We simply say, well, let's get a little bit better each day. When we try too hard, when we try to reinvent the wheel, is the only time he's ever struggled. And so He has such an amazing perspective and amazing head on his shoulders, a great team around him that it really, yes, it's a huge weight lifted off his shoulders to actually win and close the deal. But as he said, as long as I'm in contention, as long as I have a chance on Sundays, my career is going to be really good. And I hope there's no guarantees, but it wouldn't shock me to see what Scotty Scheffler did when he broke through. And it's hard to use the word finally when you've only been on the PGA Tour for 2 years. But it wouldn't shock me to see the floodgates open here soon. And as he told me after the PGA lost, when he lost to Justin Thomas in the playoff, and he played so great, and he said, "I now know I'm one of the best players in the world." And yesterday firmly established that. And he's won at every level. So it was just a matter of time. But yes, there's no doubt those pressures, expectations. I think that was a feeling of relief yesterday, that finally I could say I've got the trophy. He plays golf for trophies. He plays golf for his legacy. He plays golf for tradition. He dreamed of playing the PGA Tour. He dreamed of playing in maybe not the FedEx, because that wasn't when he was a kid, but winning the FedEx, winning major championships. And so, look, the FedEx, the money, all that is wonderful, but he plays to win trophies, and that's why he's such a special young man.
Josh, on that note, you told me back in the spring you guys are following a little bit of a Dustin Johnson model in terms of really tightening up his wedge game, and we saw him wedge it beautifully in the playoff on the 72nd hole. Kind of where are you in that process of creating a player who, like Dustin Johnson, wins every year on the PGA Tour?
Well, along with this, full swing coach Troy Ditton, who's we work closely together, and a very dear friend of mine, and so we've just really stressed the wedge play. I mean, he's the best driver / iron player in the world, and really his only deficiency has been his play from 140 yards and in. And if you look at what Dustin Johnson has done, that's why Dustin won over 20 times and is had the success he has, because he bought into what Butch Harmon told him, that hey, if you want to be elite, there were two things: you need to cut it, you need to learn to cut the golf ball, and you need to become an elite wedge player. And once that really, it's already showing, it's already making a difference. But once he becomes the wedge play matches up with his mid irons, his long irons, his driving ability, he will not have a weakness. And like I say, the putting's only going to get better. We're just scratching the surface of how good this is going to be. And like I say, we can do drills, games, reps, trust drills, practice hours upon hours, and that's only going to change it so much. You ultimately get confidence from making putts like you did yesterday, making putts like you did at Southern Hills, making putts like you did at the U.S. Open and the match play. That's where the internal belief is going to help the commitment to that stroke get any better. I mean, we've made mistakes. Look, some of our worst weeks is when we've worked too hard. Right before the Byron Nelson was a great learning experience for both of us. And I made a mistake as a coach. We spent 3 straight days together, about 3 hours at a time, and we never did anything but putt. We didn't chip, we didn't wedge, we didn't do all the stuff we needed to do. And he went out and putted terribly at the Byron Nelson. And honestly, it was a blessing in disguise, because we realized we were just simply overworking, overtrying. And now we have about an hour and 15-minute plan for every single day. We do the same drills, the same blueprint, and we know it works. And we have great videos to always go back on when things get a little off.
Josh, when the team around Will, including you, set goals, how much of those goals are measured in, say, strokes gained metrics versus being measured in Will's outlook or attitude versus actual accomplishment on the golf course?
Boy, that's a great question. There's no doubt the result-based goals are to win golf tournaments, win majors, win the FedEx Cup, make the Ryder Cup, President's Cup, all those things. But he is such a stickler for a plan. He is the model student. He fits in with everything I believe in, which is day in and day out preparation, spending equal time in all areas of the game. And if you do that and we prepare as hard as we can, results are going to take care of themselves. So most of our goals are simply process goals. We know for a fact, we've done the analytics on it. We know when he becomes a top 50 putter in the world, which he's very close if you counted all the majors. He's got a great chance to be continues on the path with his ball striking. He's got an excellent chance to be the best player in the world. So those are just facts and numbers that are quite obvious when you study them. So yeah, there's mostly process goals, but don't get me wrong, it's he likes trophies.
No doubt. First-time PGA Tour winner, 26th birthday tomorrow. for Will Zalatoris. Josh, we appreciate it. A few minutes. We'll speak to you down the road.
Sounds good. We're going to take him out to a nice dinner tonight and then spoil him a little bit. He spoils up enough by letting him watch him play golf, so it's pretty special.
No, you all have earned it. Thanks so much, Josh. Enjoy it.
Thank you all for everything. Appreciate all the support.